Hi, I'm Kevin Lawler. I'm with Affordable Pest. We are doing a 2-week follow-up on a pest inspection. We were here 2 weeks ago checking for entry points, areas where potential, in this case mice, where we've had some mice get in the house. We're going to go check what we've done. Basically for entry points, we put down some monitoring devices. We're going to check and see how those are and see where we need to go from there. We're here in the garage. We're checking on some areas that are entry points. For instance, one of the first places we look is normally in the garage. The reason being is because of the garage, we have a few areas that are potential problems. Entry points like this. Sometimes you have the actual garage seal that doesn't go all the way down flush to the ground. We also check in areas like around, of course it knows we're on the video. All right, around doors, door frames, what comes up underneath the doors, in basements. As a matter of fact, back here, along this back wall, we had found some droppings here. I'll show you these right here. These are mouse droppings. Basically, if you've ever had a piece of rye bread, it looks like the caraway seeds that are actually in rye bread. And as you can see, there's actually a little hole right here where little mice can get up in and unfortunately wind up in your home.
So what's the typical size of an entry point?
It can be less than 1/4 of an inch. Basically the size and width of a penny. If a mouse can get its nose and whiskers through there, usually it can get the rest of its body through, which is pretty good.
Well, let's look around the rest of the house to see other entry points.
All right. Now the perimeter, as we walk around the house, we're trying to look for entry points around here. Areas, for instance, in the mulch where there may be a hole where they could possibly get up under a front stoop, get through a brick foundation, because as the houses settle, these mortar joints, they fall apart. So what happens is they can gain access to a house through there. Areas around here is a perfect example. We got an electric box right here, and as you can see, there's quite a few mouse droppings sitting up on top. People would wonder, why are they up here? Well, they're here because of the current, the electrical feeling. There's heat here. They feel comfortable, safe from predators. They'll eat, they'll find nuts or whatever, and they'll hang out right there. Okay. Here's an actual area where we're pretty sure, when we were here 2 weeks ago, that the mice were getting in the house. This is an AC condensate line and pipeline. As you can see, these holes right here, these are areas that a lot of the time, especially here, where mice are going to be able to get in. We did not seal these holes up for the simple fact of you don't want to seal up the points and seal the mice in the house. There's always the potential they're going to die in the house, and all of a sudden, for a regular homeowner, you're going to have a horrible smell, and that's the last thing we want you to have. When we were here 2 weeks ago, we set up 7 traps, 7 what are called rodent stations. This is a typical station that we do. We use a product called Contract Blocks. This is a restricted use pesticide. This isn't something that you can buy at Home Depot or at the hardware store. You have to be a state certified applicator in order to buy it. So this is the product that we put in. The active ingredient is a product called bromadiolone. It is an anticoagulant. Basically, they bleed to death internally. They dehydrate, go in search of water. That's why 9 times out of 10 they'll die outside your house.
And that's why you don't seal up the houses. You try to get the mice out of the house.
Correct. And the other way to know if once we do install these, one way we're able to know if they're feeding on it is mice typically eat and defecate at the same time. So the actual defecation will be the same little caraway seeds, but this color. This is a typical, this was taken out of a home where a pest control company bought a hardware brand, hardware store, rodenticide.
Less expensive, obviously.
Less expensive, less overhead. This is typically mice, usually house mice about the size of my thumb, gray. They're nibblers. They'll eat a little bit and then they move along. So this says that this was eaten by probably quite a few mice in this house.
What's the difference in quality and what it does versus, versus this?
If they don't eat enough of this, they're not going to get a lethal dose. With the bromadiolone, they don't need to eat a lot of it for it to take care of them. Usually in the 24 to 48 hours, they'll be dead. This, unfortunately, was taken out of a customer's house who was being charged $100 every 3 months. Being told that the product was being changed on a regular basis. The problem is, this mold doesn't happen unless the bait's been in there 6 to 8 months. which told the customer that she wasn't getting the service that she wanted. Therefore, she gave us the opportunity to get her problem.
Do the mice no longer eat it once it's molded as well, or
Usually,
it's just a matter of them lying about having changed?
Usually after 3 months, the bait's ineffective, so it has to be changed every 3 months, regardless of what kind of bait you use. But yeah, they won't have anything to do with it once they smell it like that. All right, well, we were here 2 weeks ago. Bingo, there's our droppings right here in the corner. And you can see where there's that small hole in the drywall where they've come through. And here's our RTU station. Let's see what kind of activity we had. Oh, dude, check that out. They hit this pretty good. As you can see from the whole bait block earlier, I mean, half of it, almost over half of it's gone. So we're definitely having activity, and whatever ate this is no longer alive. So that's good.
So now talk about sealing it up and the door sweep.
All right, next step is basically, we have this area here, plus we have this door frame here, where this door behind me doesn't seal all the way to the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to install a door sweep. And what this is going to do, it's going to go down here, and as you can see, it goes all the way to the floor, which is going to prevent any rodents or anything from getting up underneath the door, because it'll be flush with the ground, but it won't keep the door from
And that's just
closing.
a typical hardware store $5 sweep that anybody could get.
Not really. I mean, we get these at pest control supply houses. We get them in areas that we concentrate mainly on doing this stuff, so that's why they carry these items.
Yep.
Okay, but you can pick up a similar item like this at one of your hardware stores. They are available to the general public, and that way little Johnny homeowner can do it himself if he wants to save himself $1 or $2. Basically, this homeowner didn't want to do anything. Excuse me, I want to step over here. Don't fall down. Normally what will happen is, in situations where people have a home that is sitting in the woods in a wooded area, these are potential areas. You definitely, this homeowner has already taken back some of the vines and some of the grass here to help prevent an infestation. But what we do is sometimes set up stations around the exterior of the house. In this situation, the homeowner wanted to do what he could inside, seal up all the entry points that he had, and that's going to work for him. And 9 times out of 10, we'll come back in a quarter, 3 months from now, we'll check, make sure everything's okay, and if we have to go to that next step, then we'll go to the next step. But once again, my name is Kevin Lawler with Affordable Pest, and you can reach us a call.
What's your website address?
It's affordablepest.com. You can get on our website and apply to have a free inspection, or you can give us a call.